Hi friends, we are going to discuss about the first topic of particle physics, which is Yukawa's hypothesis, properties of pi mesons, electric charge, isospin, mass, spin and parity. So let's start from Yukawa's hypothesis. In 1935, Yukawa proposed a mathematical potential to represent the nuclear-nucleon interaction. Yukawa attempted to find a potential that would describe the exchange of particles giving rise to nuclear force. In much as the same way that electromagnetic potentials and fields describe the exchange of photons that give rise to the electromagnetic force. If m represents the rest mass of the exchanged particle, then a virtual particle can be created and exist for a time t without violating conservation of energy as long as t is no greater than what is permitted by uncertainty relationship, where t is equal to h cut by mc square, which can be taken as a first equation. Then the greatest distance the particle can move is then x equals ct, which is c is the velocity and t is the time, and again it can be written as h cut c by mc square, which is 200 m electron volt fm by mc square. So the basic equation for the electromagnetic fields are Maxwell's equations, which yield wave equations that can be solved for the field that the propagation of the real as well as the virtual photons. So now we need a new equation consistent with the basic relativistic expression relating the total energy and the rest mass. So we wrote E square equals P square C square plus M square C raised to 4, which is taken as a third equation. So in quantum energy, E equals I h cut dou by dou t and P equals minus I h cut del, which is again taken as a fourth equation. So substituting this for equation 4 in equation 3, we get a relativistic wave-like differential equation, which is called Klein-Gordon equation. Okay. So from this we can again written like del square minus m square c square by h cut square into phi equals 1 by c square dou square phi by dou t square. Okay, which is again taken as a fifth equation. Here phi equals the amplitude of the field. And we begin by looking for a static potential from the time independent solution. The equation 5 can again be written like del square minus m square c square by h cut square into phi equals 0. Putting m square c square by h cut square equals k square, which becomes mc by h cut equals k. Okay, therefore from this we obtain del square phi minus k square phi equals 0. This is again taken as the sixth equation. In radial coordinates, the spherically symmetric solution is phi equals g e raised to minus k r by r, which is the seventh equation. Okay. The electromagnetic field of a single charge would be represented by E by 4 pi epsilon 0 r, and the strength of interaction of the another elementary charge with this field is E square by 4 pi epsilon 0 r. Similarly, the strong interaction between two elementary nuclear particles would be minus g square e raised to minus k r by r. Okay, which is same as equation 7. So, according to Yukawa's calculation, the nuclear force should have a range of the order of k raised to minus 1, which is equal to h cut by mc. So Yukawa's proposed particles were called mesons because the postulated mass was midway between the light non-particle. Okay. At the time of Yukawa's proposal, accelerators were not yet powerful enough to liberate mesons. So the early researches for mesons were done among the particles produced by the cosmic rays. Using photographic emulsion carried to high altitude, where they record the passage of secondary particles created when the cosmic rays strike the atmosphere. So he found in 1947, C.F. Powell, by his collaborators, showed evidence for two distinct mesons from the emulsion tracks. A heavier meson decaying to the lighter one. It is the heavier meson that is Yukawa's particle, now known as pi mesons. Okay, the lighter particle is meson of mu meson. It is not a meson at all because it does not interact strongly, has spin 1 by 2 or spin half at all because it does not interact strongly and has spin half, but a true elementary particle of the lepton family. Okay. So very soon after the cosmic ray results give evidence for the pi meson the pi mesons, and the production threshold for pi mesons at accelerators known as the meson factories produce pi mesons by the indensed proton beam and in a great quantities that secondary beams of the pions can be extracted. Okay, so this is a figure that showing a pi meson decays to a meson, which in turn decays to an electron. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about the properties of pi meson. So actually there are four properties of pi mesons. They are the electric charge, the isospin, mass, and spin and parity. Okay, so let's start from the first one, which is electric charge. So in electric charge, the pions can carry electric changes of plus E0 or minus E, and are thus denoted by pi plus, pi 0 or pi minus. The pi 0 is its own antiparticle and pi plus and pi minus are antiparticles of each other. The ultimate factor in determining the identificate of particles and the antiparticles in the case of meson has to do in relative statistical weights of the cross section of various pion reactions from which it is conducted that the pions must be regarded as a set of these particles pi plus, pi 0, pi minus, whose antiparticles are respectively pi minus, pi 0, pi plus. So the second property, isospin. The isospin notation for the pi meson can be represented by the letter T, the capital letter T. Because there are 3 pions, the multiplicity 2T plus 1 demands T equals 1. The member with the maximum electric chains have the highest projection. Okay. So moving to the third one, which is mass. The mass of pi minus is determined with great precision from the energies of pi minus Mesic X-rays, okay, which are emitted when a pi minus is captured into an atomic orbit and cascades down towards the nucleus. A rough estimate of energies of n is equal to 4 to n is equal to 3 transition in P and the n is equal to 5 to n is equal to 4 transition in Ti can be calculated and found to be about del delta EP equals 40.4892 plus or minus 0.003 keV. Del ETA equals 40.3861 plus or minus 0.004. And deduce the pion's mass is m pi minus e square 139.5675 plus or minus 0.0009. That's it. So this X-ray method is not applicable to positively charged particles, and so another method must be taken for pi plus. In this case, we can measure the energies and masses of the final products in the decay. Pi plus gives mu plus V mu. Okay, and deduce the pi plus mass. In the rest frame of pi plus, the energy balance is m pi plus e square is equal to E mu plus EV, which is again equal to m mu plus c square plus T mu plus Cp mu T Cp mu plus, which is taken as a first equation. Here the EV equals Cpv equals Cpv plus. Based on the masses, the neutrons and the momentum conservation in the pion rest frame. Okay, measuring the momentum P mu plus, we can calculate T mu plus and deduce the pi mass. Okay, so the deduced meson momentum was P mu plus equals 29.7877 plus or minus 0.0014 MeV by C. Okay, and m pi plus e square equals 139.5658 plus or minus 0.0018 MeV. The mass of the neutral pion can be obtained by studying the reaction. Pi plus P gives N plus pi 0, which is taken as the second equation. So from this second equation, we can the initial pi minus is first shown to rest and is captured by the target proton from an atomic like orbit. The final kinetic energy is shared by the neutron and the pi 0. Actually the equation 2 becomes m pi minus c square plus t pi minus plus mp c square plus Tp equals mn c square plus Tn plus m pi 0 n square plus t pi 0. Here t pi minus equals Tp, which is equal to 0. So from this it is clear that m pi minus m pi 0 into c square equals Tn plus t pi 0 plus mn minus mp into c square, which is taken as the third equation. So the final kinetic energy of the pi 0 can be deduced from the energy of the X-rays in the decay. Pi 0 from the experimental results, the mass differences is deduced to be m pi minus m pi 0 into c square equals 4.5930 plus or minus 0.0013. Okay, then the net result for the m pi 0 using the best value of m pi minus is m pi 0 c square equals 134.9745 plus or minus 0.0016 MeV. Okay, so let's move to the fourth point, spin and parity. The decay of pi 0 into two gammas and the production of a single pion from nucleon collision. immediately the pion must have an integral spin. So the most direct indication of the pion spin comes from the study of the interaction. So P plus P gives D plus pi plus, and its inverse pi plus D gives P plus P. If the nature is symmetric with respect to the time reversal, the direct and the inverse cross section should be identical except for the statistical factors and kinematics. This is usually called the principle of detailed balance. The intrinsic parity of the pion can be deduced from the reaction pi minus plus d gives n plus n. So the initial parity pi I equals pi 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 d into minus 1 raised to li equals pi pi, which is taken as a first equation, where pi d equals plus 1 and li equals 0. The conservation of parity in strong interaction means that the initial and final particles must be equal. The final parity is pi f equals pi n into minus 1 raised to lf, which is equal to minus 1 raised to lf, which is the second equation. Thus pi is plus 1, which requires lf is even, while pi is minus 1 requires pi f equals O. The total angular momentum of the initial state is Ji equals S pi plus Sd plus Li, and knowing that S pi is equal to 0, Li is equal to 0 and Sd is equal to 1 requires Ji is equal to 1. The final angular momentum is Jf equals Sn1 plus Sn2 plus Lf. Here Lf is 1, Sn1 plus Sn2 is 0, then only Jf equals 1. Then the final parity become pi f is equal to minus 1 raised to Lf, which can be again written as pi f equals minus 1. Hence, pi I equals minus 1 and the pion has odd parity. Thank you.